I found some benefit in a Tibetan humming meditation known as Nada Brahma. Is this meditation compatible with Sahaja Yoga?
Not at all. Not at all. You see, this Nada Brahma is what is the benefit one gets, is that you go on humming and humming like that, and a day will come when your head will be humming all the time. Now I'll tell you the reason for that is like this. Supposing we say anything, like we start saying Om or Hum or anything, we do not become. Supposing I say I am the governor of this place, do I become? If I say I am Om, do I become? By saying thing, can we become something? If we profess something, do we become? Something has to happen within. Unless and until that happens, it has no meaning. It's all outside. You can say anything. Somebody can say, I have some benefits because I have been saying prayers. That's not the thing. It's a complete transformation that you must have. And these are very dangerous things. Very, very dangerous. Because in the Tibet now, for example, Lama himself is a mess, I tell you. He's a big mess. I went to China with my husband, and I was really amazed. You might call it a propaganda, whatever it is, to see. In Lhasa, this gentleman accumulated such wealth that it could be compared with the wealth of Pope. He used to take his wine in a full gold goblet, which was all carved, and he had number of them. His plate was made of gold, his everything was made of real gold. And from where did he get this money? Imagine, from these Tibetans who were poor people. They are so poor. They have no clothes, nothing to cover themselves. I don't say communism is a very good thing, but what I say, that these people really exploited them. The whole of that Lhasa exhibition was such an eye-opener. Oh God, these people have looted these poor people and how much they have suffered. If you go and see now Tibet, you'll be amazed. The people don't know. They are so confused. They don't understand. They have given everything that they had to this Mr. Lama. He's touring now everywhere. No one knows what is he up to. What benefit can they give? It's a bit. The best benefit is that you become a master. You know each and everything. You know what is Kundalini. You know how to give realization other. And everything you must. That's the main thing. In the beginning, you do feel nice with anything, even with a drink. For a time being, in the same way, if you are humming somebody's name, you might get possessed for a while and you may feel all right. Like TM has the same problem. TM people do some mantras. For a time being, they feel relaxed because somebody else comes into your mind. He takes over and he starts managing your show. And when he starts managing your show, you feel relaxed. But relaxation is not the thing. You do not become a master. That's the point is, when you become one with the whole, then you are relaxed because nothing is exhausted. All the time you are relaxed. But see these lamas, how they look. All wrinkled, you can count their wrinkles one by one. Horrible people. You cannot say that they have anything great about them. And what good have they done? I haven't seen any lama doing any good to anyone. I had a chance of sitting next to this Dalai Lama once in a dinner party when my husband was with the Prime Minister. And he was called, and because Prime Minister's wife would not sit, so I was sitting next to him. And I felt so hot. And the Prime Minister was Lal Bahadur Shastri, and he knew all about it, about me, and he said, are you feeling very hot with him? Because he was a realized soul himself. I said, it's terrible. He said, all right, then put the another foreign minister in between. He made me sit on the other side, and the foreign minister sat there. Till you are realized, you will not know. And also I must tell you, when you go to these people, it's difficult for you to get realization. That also is there. Because they create a problem within you. With any effort, you go on to sympathetic nervous system. Any effort, as I told you, you go to sympathetic nervous system. So your sympathetic gets activated. When your sympathetic gets activated, you either move to the left or to the right. When you move to the left, you go to the collective subconscious. That is the place which is all dead within us since our creation. And cancer, as I told you yesterday, is caused by the entities from that area. And if you go to the right side, most of these lamas put you on the right. Do you know Hitler was guided by Lama? Dalai Lama was his guru. He taught him how to capture the minds of people and put them onto this kind of a thing. It's a well-known fact. It was Dalai Lama was his guru. All these lamas are like that. But when you are realized, then only you will know what they are. Like my granddaughter was about 5 years. She's a realized soul. While my daughter and son-in-law were not realized souls. And once they went to Hledat, and the Lama was sitting, you see, on a mount. And everybody was going and bowed to him. But she didn't like it. And when the parents went and bowed to him, she got very angry. She was only 5 years. She just put back her hands like this, stood before him. She said, by wearing this maxi, do you think you have become a realized soul? You are not. You have no business to ask people to bow before you. What business have you got? And they were so shocked and embarrassed. They said, don't say that. No, why did you bow to him? He's not to be bowed. Just imagine. But unless and until you are realized, also it's very difficult because they have a very nice business propositions. They have very nice advertising agencies. Like the other day I went to Spain, I was shocked. There's another thing these lamas have started, that we have to go to Gobi Desert. Gobi Desert. Now imagine. That Gobi Desert is a place where you go, even 1 mile you will be finished. For nirvana you go to Gobi Desert. So take all the money from the people. Now they prepare nicely and take crowds of people to Gobi Desert. Poor things are walking towards their death, and they call it a nirvana. They never return. So they have gone to their nirvana, they are not returned. This is how they are working it out. I have had people in England. There was one fellow called Onkar. His name was given as Onkar by some, I don't know what Lama gave him that name, because normally they don't have Onkar name. So I said, who gave you this name? He said, I went to a monastery. And what happened? All his bones were broken. He said, they beat me on my back. Just imagine. How can that be? All his bones were broken. And it was impossible to give him realization because physically it was impossible, but slowly and steadily he is now recovering. He is like a madman. How can you be cruel? So Tibetans, are they very realized souls, you think? What is there to learn from Tibetans? Anybody who is foreign need not be a learned personality. Whatever is written in the book need not be a scripture. You should understand that all these things have come up just after Buddha's death. It has happened with every religion, with every great personality came on this earth, it has happened. But it is in the old caves, the saints who lived after Buddha have written that it is a spontaneous happening. But Buddha did not talk of God because he thought, first talk of the self. Because if you talk of God, people immediately start thinking they have become God. So better talk of self. Let them get their self-realization. Unless and until they get self-realization, how will they understand God? So they are called, he's called as Anishwar, means he doesn't believe in God, an atheist. It's not so. He just deliberately did it because he thought if you talk of something far-fetched, then people live in an imaginary world. So what he wanted practically to have self-realization first and then the knowledge about God. Because for a blind person, no use telling him about the whole thing before first tell him that you must have your vision.
Any other questions?
The other day we had one lady from Buddhist meditation. She couldn't get her realization, I'm sorry to say. Though we can work it out gradually, but she couldn't get it. Because, you see, Buddha resides within us on this side, here. And this is the portion gets very much swollen up when you do Buddhist meditation. And we have to reduce it with certain mantras. Otherwise, you cannot reduce it. One has to work hard for such people. Doesn't matter. Because you are all seekers. It's your right to have it. And I'm here to work for you. Any other question, please? Yes, that's the problem in England. I know. I know that's the problem today is that they don't want to know and they are very skeptical. But things are working out nicely now. You see what it is after all. God is also anxious that people should get it. Now I'll tell you how it's working out. Like the other day, I was not there, but my husband saw a program about a comedian who said that he gets a cool breeze. He was talking about his revelation. He said, suddenly I started getting cool breeze in my back. And I don't know what it is, but I felt very relaxed, and so many people feel relaxed when they sit together with me. Now, he doesn't know anything. He's very vague about the cool breeze, but he felt it. That's a revelation he gives. Now, just before that, 2 days before, we were discussing amongst themselves, and they said, Mother, how many people you need to have that syndrome? What is it called as? 100 monkey syndrome. I hope you have heard about it. That when the 100 monkey learnt a trick, every monkey everywhere started doing that trick sort of a thing. I said, it will be very soon. And just imagine this fellow started feeling this cool breeze on his back. Now he came on the television, and the television were very, very skeptical, as you say, very, very. And I didn't bother much about it. I said the time will come by itself. Because we don't take any money and we cannot pay any money for any such things. Now, when somebody met them and told them that this program has taken place, there's somebody who knows all about this thing, immediately they came to me. And now they want me to have a program. And once it starts like that, people will come round. The trouble is, you see, human beings have so much of a barrier of their ego also. They are very insensitive people. Moreover, say, a traditional country like, say, Rome, Egypt, I find they are much more sensitive to divinity than to absurd things. You'll be surprised in Rome now. We are sitting down here, so I can tell you in Rome, no guru has been successful. No guru has been successful. But when I went there, just seeing my photograph, the mayor was so amazed. He said, it's divinity. Just seeing my photograph. And he took it over. He gave us a hall free. He published it and he made so many posters, he put it all over. It's working very well in Rome, but not in England. I have been here for 10 years working hard, but English are rather hard people. Doesn't matter, it will work out. And then also in Egypt. Egypt is another place which are very traditional people. Another I found is Greece. They are very traditional, and in tradition what happens? You start learning by making mistakes. You see, believe in Rasputin, you believe in this and believe in that, and then you start understanding what is reality, how we'll get it, and that's how they come to it. But here just people read, and they reach nowhere, they're so confused. I don't blame them for all this, but I must say that they must come to terms with reality and try to understand that you cannot purchase it, first of all, and you cannot work for it. It is a spontaneous living process of the living God. This is what we have to understand. And once we understand that, it will work out. I'm sure. I understand that people are like that. And you'll be surprised, I've been working 10 years in England. And we don't have so many Sahajogis as we have in other countries. Even France is better, surprisingly. Much better off. France and Switzerland is much better. But England is the one that is lacking very much, and I'm working very hard here. India, of course, is 1,000 times more. So it's all right. It will come. English are that way very balanced, sometimes overbalanced, you see. One thing good about them, they know how to laugh at themselves. So it may work out. What's that?
She says that you said that you've said that the gurus often do more harm than good.
Yes.
How do we know that you may not be doing more harm than good?
Yes, of course, maybe I may be doing, no doubt. You must keep that open. But you can talk to people who are always, when you go to a guru, actually I've seen when you come to me, you ask me questions. But when you go to these people, you go headlong, absolutely headlong. I've known people who paid £6,000 to go to Switzerland and eat only potato, water of the potato that is boiled, and they lived there without asking a question. That is one of the signs that you are free. Secondly, you must know that what others have been to me, what has happened to them. Thirdly, you should know, why should I harm you? What is my advantage? Because I don't take any money from you, nothing of the kind. By God's grace, I am living very well in my life. Perhaps I am very well off in life. I don't need anything from anyone. So why should I do it on another life where I am at a very high level? So why should I come to you? For what? What am I going to gain out of it? So credibility must be established through the disciples. You never see the disciples. You just go headlong because you are mesmerized. You don't even think about it. You don't even ask questions. I asked them, why didn't you ask questions? Why are you taking 6,000 pounds? Oh, they said, Mother, we were walking under the blanket. And the person who was the head of that organization in Scotland became epileptic. His daughter became epileptic. His wife became epileptic. And then he came to me. Then he came to me in that state. And I had to keep them in my house to cure them. So those people who have been to me, like Dr. Warren has been now, he was a patient of high blood pressure, all kinds of things. He got cured. Not only he's cured many people. And there are so many here who have been helped. People who used to were alcoholics, drug addicts, all of them have become all right. So you must see them and see how they are. And you can see how they talk, how they know. But in any other guru's place, it's such a hierarchy, you cannot even reach them. And somebody who talks remembers everything by heart and says something. There's nothing spontaneous, they don't know anything about it. So credibility must be established, first of all. But that you don't do with anybody else. Only with me. That's a good sign for me that I give you freedom. What's it?
Okay, I've got you. She says that surely all paths lead to Rome. You were speaking about the Dalai Lama, and what's wrong?
No, but some lead to hell also. We must know. Every doesn't go to Rome, but can go to hell also. Of course, all paths lead to Rome if the person who takes you there is a right guide. Is the right guide. You cannot go to hell and then say, come back to Rome. You cannot. The people who are right guides can do it. They don't take any money. They don't do. They give you realization. They make you something different. They make you righteous, virtuous, and great people. It's a very different thing. And not those who just profess something or say something. They do not accumulate wealth. You see, they are self-respecting people. They are not parasites. They don't live on your living. How much did Christ earn? You have such a great example of Christ. Why do you go to anybody else? Did he take any money? He was sold for 30 rupees. What Christ has said, thou shalt not have adulterous eyes. I would like to know what Christians are there. Which Christians have those eyes which are not adulterous? Have you got innocent eyes? There's no lust and greed in your eyes? Face yourself up. Those who talk of these things have all those much greater sins than what you have. How can they improve you? They are the ones who are living on others' property, others' money. Will you live on somebody else's property and earnings? Making the children to get out of their houses, sell their houses, go on the streets. Will you do that for anyone? Taking money from the poor, will you do that? You are so good. Must understand. Use your brains. But when you get realization, you develop those innocent eyes. The eyes are so powerful. Even looking at somebody with those eyes, you can give realization. You can cure them. Like the other day we had one, what was his name? The one who came to, one journalist, you see, who came and who said that it is said that you can cure people. I said, all right. So he said, there's one lady who is suffering from the disease of agoraphobia, and she doesn't want to come out of her house. So how will you cure her? I said, all right, if she cannot come, get me her photograph. I can't go to her house. Sort of challenging me. I said, all right, bring her photograph to me. He brought a photograph to me. I just looked at the photograph. She's like this for 10 years, he said. And he said, you must cure her. I said, all right, I'll try. It's very easy to cure this disease at least. And I said, you just leave her alone for 8 days. But he couldn't, resist. So he went like a CID there to find out what was going on. And when he went to her house, she was not there. She was out on the move with her husband having a nice stroll, and he's now going to publish a very good article about it. No, not at all. Not a healer. I'm not a healer at all. I'm a person who wants to give you self-realization. It's not a question of spiritual healing. Spiritual healing are also 2 types. One of them is, of course, the people who are realized souls. Like the other day we went, of course, we met somebody. Where was that? A taxi fellow who came with us?
In Nottingham.
The taxi gentleman who came in the car thing, I knew he was a realized soul. So he just started talking to me. He also felt that nearness. And I said, do your fingers tingle sometimes? He said, yes, very much. I said, are you a healer? Yes, he said, I'm a healer. I said, how do you know all about it? I said, do you feel very guilty? Yes. I said, I know that. He said, how do you know? I said, I know somehow. But you want to know about it? Because he was a realized soul. He was a realized soul. But there are healers who are not realized souls. They are the people who use spirits. They shake before you and shout, and that's very dangerous. A realized soul doesn't have to do anything. Only touches you, will be all right. He doesn't have to shake and do all these tantrums. Because you are so naive, I must say, that's why there is such a problem. Very naive. In the West, we have developed our tree very well, but not the roots. We don't know anything about the roots. I was amazed myself, because there's no idea at all. Not in India. India people know this. They know this. Like we put dead in the church. In India, nobody would put dead in the church. It's a holy place. How do you put the dead there? But this is what it is. You are naive, I know. And despite that naivety, you are also very adamant. So what to do now? It's a difficult question sometimes for me. Doesn't matter. It works out. Yes?
Could you explain what you mean by this energy rising through the spine? And isn't it just really the same thing as a tingling up the spine? Perhaps, do you mean of a more physical kind?
Yes.
A feeling of awe.
Feeling
is it a feeling of awe?
Awe.
He's relating the feeling that you might have up your spine to a feeling of awe, and perhaps saying it's...
There is I have not known such a thing as that. I don't know. It doesn't happen like that. You see, when the Kundalini rises, you don't feel anything, nothing of the kind. Only thing you feel at top of your head, a cool breeze, all right? And in the hands, you feel a kind of a cool breeze coming out. But in the beginning, you might feel little heat, because if you have too much heat in the body, then you might feel a little heat coming out. Sometimes people who are very nervous type shake a little, that's all. But this thing I have never known. Is some sort of a funny thing. Maybe coming from somewhere, I don't know. All kinds of permutations and combinations I've seen happening to people. Like one gentleman, he sat on the ground with the feet towards me. In India, it's not done. So people said that, how can you put your feet towards mother? It's not done. So he said, no, my Kundalini is awakened and I jump like a frog. I said, who told you? He showed me a book of his guru written down that you jump like a frog. Can you imagine? I asked him, are you going to become a frog now? All kinds of permutations and combinations. You don't know how many things are there, published all over the world.
Right. He wants to know, how is this awakening initiated? The awakening of Kundalini.
It's very simple, as I told you, just like sprouting of the seed. That's my job. But then once I have done it, you have to do it also. All right? On that promise. Now, at this good time, I don't want to know hell. You see, it is described very well if you read any one of these great poets. Especially, I would say, read William Blake. All right? It's already described so much. Why do you want? I want you to enter into the kingdom of God. Hell is, when I am saying to hell, you might get epilepsy. I've seen people getting epilepsy, people getting lunatic, leaving their homes, running away, hating everyone, killing each other, killing themselves, killing their parents, violent. They take to drugs, take to all kinds of things which are self-destructive. What I mean is self-destructive in one word. All right?
But what about people that suffer from these effects from birth? I mean, they haven't been...
Oh.
What about people who suffer from these things from birth? Really,
Yes.
you're getting off the subject.
All right, if they suffer from this, there is something else is responsible. But they do suffer, isn't it? But those who have not suffered and are normal and go to these gurus, pay money and get it, then at least you will hold these great gurus responsible or not.
So you don't feel that there are any other gurus or teachers,
What is it?
wisdom or understanding or anything?
What is it?
Do you feel there are not any other gurus who
Oh,
are...
many. There are many, but they are not in the market. There are many, many more. Many there. Beg pardon?
Are there any who can be beneficial to you?
Beneficial to you?
To anyone?
To anyone. Yes, they are. But just see now, in this crowd, I'm talking to you, you are asking 10 questions. They have no patience. They have no patience at all. I tell you, they are so impatient, all these gurus, that you have no idea. They just can't bear it. I asked one gentleman to go to America with great coaxing and everything because I had no time to go there. Within 3 days, he ran away from there. He said, I have no time for these stupid people. He cancelled it. You see, because I am a mother, I have patience for you. They have no patience for you. What am I to do? They are telling me after 12 years, we'll come and help you, mother. They know me very well. There are so many, they have met some. But they don't want to talk to people they think they are stupid. What to do now? They think all seekers are stupid people. What am I to do? They have no patience. You have to have a mother to have patience, isn't it?
Let's finish here.
Now,
Mothers, here
there's no
this
end to it,
realization.
my child. These questions have no meaning. By asking questions, you are not going to get realization, I must tell you. I cannot guarantee it. I cannot guarantee it. If you get it, it's your luck. If you don't get it, it's your luck. So be careful. There's no need to discuss, argue. By argument, you are not going to get it. Listen to me. What am I going to gain out of you? Is this the first place where we have so many questions? Must be some Romans are around here, I think, reborn. Otherwise, I can't explain. I mean, nobody asked so many questions as you have asked me, which has no meaning. And supporting these fake gurus who have taken money from you, have disturbed so many people. Supporting satanic forces. Something surprising, isn't it? All right, doesn't matter. Now I have already told that. Now, that's all. If you want me to come back to Bath, please no more questions now.